strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
Welcome everybody, this is Bulldog here. Welcome back to another video, another beginner's guide. I am continuing on with the Splinter series. We're going to focus on the life deck today. I did the Fire Splinter a while ago, and it's taken me a little bit, but you'll see I'm in a different place here. I'm actually on vacation. I did this video guide on the way, taking a brief break to make this video for you guys. So I don't have any cool green screen, anything like that, so I'm just getting myself off the screen anyways, so you guys can see all the lovely info on the screen. Anyways, you don't need to see my face. Okay, what are we doing with the life deck? Life deck is really one of the toughest to run early on, and in bronze, I know it was my weakest deck, but it has actually turned into one of my favorite decks, one of my strongest, and it's because I like to use a sneak squad with it. So these are the 4 characters that I most commonly use. The first three here are really the key component of my life deck. Right now I've got them at a silver level, so you can run this in bronze. I'm going to show it working very well. I'm going to show it countering Llama and Llama Kron. In bronze level, it can be that good, but silver is where it really takes off. So these are, and that's because you get an extra attack here. So Silver Shield Assassin, bronze only has 1 attack. He attacks twice. He does have 2 abilities at level 1. He's going to attack twice. He's got that double strike. When you get that second melee attack, though, it really ramps up, because every time he gets an extra attack, it's really like he gets 2 extra attacks, so that 1 melee turns into 2 melee. It's very, very good. So Elven Cutthroat and Sandworm are actually neutral cards. Sandworm over there has 5 attack. He is kind of expensive though, so it is hard to fit him into this lineup a lot of times, but he does work great if you can get him in there. Feral Spirit as well. This is a relatively cheap deck to run. And by the way, Sneak hits the back character, hits the last character instead of the first. Always hits the last character unless you're in the front spot. If you're in the first spot, you hit the first character. But if you're anywhere else, if you're on the back line, you're going to hit the back character. So that's what Sneak does. Sorry, kind of skipped over that. I know sometimes I assume that you guys know everything, but some of you might not know that yet, since this is a beginner guide. One of the reasons this can be much cheaper than a lot of other decks, which I'm not going to put prices up because they're changing so much. I did that on my other one, and it's already way outdated. So just relative to the rest of the game, it can be cheap because you don't need a specific summoner. Fire works really well with Jotun. You have a team built around Jotun, but Jotun's really expensive. With Earth, the team can be built around Llama, but Llama can be very expensive. So these summoners, you can actually use any of them. I've got them kind of almost in order a little bit. So Lorna Shine, what she's gonna do is make it so the first time your card is attacked, it doesn't count. It does 0 damage. First attack does 0 damage, and that's very, very good. Increases survivability quite a bit. So can be key. Tyrus is going to add +1 armor. He's the one I use just because I have him leveled up. So a lot of times you're just going with the one that you can get leveled up the most to allow you to use your cards. Mother Kala adds the +1 health. I like the armor. I like the divine protection better than the health, but health can still work. If that's the card that you've got, go with it. Chancius the Great is certainly a good card. It's a legendary summoner. I think he's one of the weaker legendary summoners. I mean, still good, but relative to the others, and he can certainly add things to your team. He's going to repair, which heals your armor. He's going to heal the back line character. He's got a revive. Those are his 3 things. Those are very, very good. But he's also at 7 mana, so it costs more mana. And then a lot of times you can't even play the legendary cards either, so you can be restricted there. So I tend to go with one of the 3 mana cards. But Chancius can work great. Absolutely nothing wrong if you can fit him in there, and if you can get him on your team. He's a lot more expensive too. So which tanks are we going to use? You can really run any tank. These are some of the most common life tanks. You can use neutral tanks. Doesn't necessarily matter. Silver Shield Knight is the one I really want to focus on, though, because I really, really like him. He has Inspire. That's what that ability is. It's Inspire. It is going to increase everybody's melee attack by 1. That is very, very valuable here because we have possibly an all melee deck. I like to run an all melee deck with this team, and that's going to increase their damage. Helps significantly. He's not a great tank, though. So I like to put him in the second spot. And if I've got enough mana, I'll put him in the second spot so he can be a second tank. and until he's obviously not attacking until he gets to the front line, unless you've got some sort of a battle modifier that changes that, some sort of rule set. But I actually put him as my second tank if I've got the mana, and then my first tank can kind of absorb the damage once he falls. Silver Shield can be a decent second tank and can dish out some damage from there as well. Crystal Jaguar. I really like him because he's only 4 mana, has decent health for 4 mana, and has Thorns. So you need to get him up to level 4 to get that Thorns. Again, kind of how this deck seems to get a little bit better at the silver level. But remember, there's a lot of times where, okay, there's a rule set where you can only play cards that are 4 mana or less. So it's good to have a tank that is 4 mana or less for that rule set specifically. Crystal Jaguar works very well. Or just if you don't have enough mana. If it's just a regular battle and you're trying to get all your attackers in and you're white on mana, Crystal Jaguar can be a pretty decent tank there. And again, a lot of times I'm using this in a rule set that favors melee. So you might see melee on the other side. That Thorns can be very useful. Silver Shield Paladin has a shield. Any tank with shields is going to be decent. So he works up front. Somebody I use commonly. Shield Bearer has Taunt. Now a lot of times I can't fit him in because he's 8 mana. And I'd rather use the mana on my attackers. But Shield Bearer can work, and then he has Taunt too, which can be very valuable because those attackers in the back can kind of be a little bit of a glass cannon. So that way they can't be hit by an opponent's Sandworm or something like that. And that Taunt can be very, very significant. So it's nice if I can get him in. And then we've got some support as well. A lot of times I actually go with 0 healers or support. I don't use any of these guys at all, but these can be valuable characters to a life deck, and they can certainly help you out. So Divine Healer is a tank heal. It's going to heal the tank, pretty straightforward. Early in the game, healers are very, very good. Armor Smith is kind of a similar thing, but he's actually healing armor, so repair is what it is. He's going to repair some of that armor. True Speaker is going to give everybody 2 armor, so not going to repair it throughout the match, but gives it to start with. And a lot of times these matches are fairly quick because I go with a lot of damage and don't have a lot of tanks, so your healers aren't going to get a lot of turns to heal. But you never know. You can have different rule sets. So let's go in. Let's show you guys what this actually looks like on the battlefield. And I'm going to show you. I was just running battles earlier today to try and test this out. And this was in my guild brawl. And it was a bronze setting. I did a bronze setting so that I could hopefully show you guys this team, and this couldn't have turned out any better, because we are facing Llama Kron. And one of the most common questions I get is, how do you beat Llama Kron early in the game? Bronze tier, we're going to take Kron out in the back before he gets last stand. So now, I wouldn't say this is a great Llama Kron counter at the bronze level, because a lot of times you just don't have enough attack. This is 36 mana, so we were able to get in all 4 of those sneak cards I showed you at the beginning. We were able to get them all in, plus we've got Inspire, plus we had another tank to absorb that, to give us some time to get Kron out. So we needed a lot of mana. But once you get up to the silver level, everybody gets that extra attack. You don't necessarily need as many cards. You can do it without Sandworm. Remember, Sandworm is 9 mana, so being able to drop him down is a big deal. And now you could run this exact team and have enough damage to take out Kron with only at 27 mana. You could run the same thing. So obviously everything's going to there's always different rule sets and everything. So it's hard to say. You can never just say, okay, always run this lineup, always do this type of thing. You have to be able to make adjustments, and that's what makes this game so good and such a great strategy game, is that everything's always changing. And even though we're doing the same battles every single day, they're never the same battles, and you always have to come up with different things and have a variety of options. But I thought it was really cool to see Llama Kron being beaten in the Bronze League, and now we have a Last Stand Chicken. I don't actually think I've ever watched this battle to completion. We have a Last Stand Chicken. That was actually pretty cool. I like that. I'm glad I got through that whole battle. Okay, here's a more typical battle. This is in Silver League, so you can see the attack goes up 1. Okay. the attacks would be the same. My sneak cards are silver level. Now I do have my I've got level 8 Silver Shield Knight, but he's not gonna play any necessarily a huge role in here because he's not even attacking. We're just getting that on Spire right now, so he won't attack until he gets up front. It's just coincidence that we used another battle with Health Equalizer. That was just coincidence. It's not that this is a team is designed for that or anything. But I ran this several times. I think I was starting to tip my hand. My opponent stuck a character with thorns in the back. That's a very good strategy, a very good way to actually counter a team like this. But I had enough to attack. I got through him anyways. Look at, and you know what I said, Silver. This my Silver Shield Assassin's actually up to, he's got his poison there, but again, his poison didn't matter. You can still, this still showcases how this team will work, what this team can do. I've got some cards that are only silver level that I'm running in Diamond League and having success. This is one of my most successful factions. I actually really like this this life team now, which again is a big change from when from early on. So here is another battle we'll show against a legendary summoner. This is going up against Kitty, and we've got another similar deck. I was actually worried about the reason I put Creeping Ooze there in the back. Creeping Ooze slows everybody down one. Our characters are fairly fast, so it kind of allows them to go first. So and I stuck Creeping Ooze in the very back because I was a little worried about Sneak on the other side. And he was just gonna kind of act as a guard back there. But again, we're using kind of the same core cards and getting some wins here. I'm gonna show one more battle after this. One more battle where I use actually a different summoner, and I'm going to show you kind of a special summoner we can use if you choose to. And then I'm going to go talk about some other life cards that I really like, not necessarily for this Sneak team, but just in general some life cards that I like that I think are worth focusing on for both early in the game and that can become valuable later. So there's that. Let's get one more battle in. Look at the summoner here. This is Daria. It's a dragon summoner, so it's not like if you're running a life quest, this would not count for your life quest, but we're still using the life cards. We're using all life cards. We're not using any dragon cards. I'm actually on the bottom. I put my mouse up top. It's a mirror summoner match. So Daria gives +1 attack. So we're really gonna ramp up our attack here. Look at Silver Shield Assassin. Look at Silver Shield Assassin now has 4 attack. He's gonna do some work. He is going to do some work here. And now you can also see this this Holy Protection, giving that Divine Shield. But yeah, and it is nice once he gets that poison as well. But that poison is definitely not required to run this team. Don't feel like you have to get him up to that poison level. But man, look, 4 attack. Look, double hits there. Now, obviously we didn't do any damage because he's got that Divine Protection. The poison does finish him off. But we were going to win this anyway, so we're going to win this anyways. It's so nice. Here we go. 4. We missed. I forgot we missed, but that's okay. Plenty of damage. We had plenty of damage, even without the poison with the dodges there. You can just really ramp up your damage and hit some of those weaker characters in the back. So I absolutely love the Sneak strategy. I really do. So on to, okay, it reset here. Let's go look at some life cards here, and we'll show all cards. Let's take the alpha cards out there so it doesn't look confusing seeing duplicates. I'm sorry if you hear me hitting my trackpad. I don't have my mouse here on vacation. So let's I'm just gonna go through and talk about some other cards that I play frequently or would like. So Lone Boatman is one that can be interesting because he gets repair later on though. So not necessarily early, but it's somebody if you want to kind of work towards things. At level 5. At level 5 he gets repair. I really like him there. I unfortunately don't have him myself. Cave Slug, Opportunity. Opportunity is also valuable and compare well in here. You can use that. It a lot of times we'll hit the same character as we're weakening the backline anyways, but if there's somebody that's weaker, Cave Slug goes after him pretty slow, unfortunately. A lot of our other characters are kind of faster. Fairly slow. But he can certainly work. So Luminous Eagle here. Luminous Eagle, I want to show you guys real quick, is fairly good because he's got, okay, level 1 he's only 2 attack for 6 mana, not that great. But he gets his 3rd attack on the second level. He gets his third attack at only level 2, so that's a cheap one to upgrade there that can make a big difference. And then if we're using something like Inspire, he'll now have 4 attack, can hit from the second spot. Unfortunately, he's not hitting the back, but he will hit the front. And if you can have like Silver Shield Knight up front, if he's your actual first tank, and then the Luminous Eagle, you can see Silver Shield Knight gets like piercing and trample, so he can ramp that up. But Silver Shield Knight and Luminous Eagle can work on the front while your sneak characters work on the back. That can be a good combination. Not too bad at all. Defender of Truth here is one I unfortunately don't have, but I really like him when we get to level 3 and he gets that protect ability. So very nice, can do a little bit of damage and protect for fairly cheap mana. So that is a card I like. Crystal Werewolf at level 1 will decrease magic ability. So once you start seeing more magical cards, and if you think you're gonna go up against a magic deck, that's a very good. That's just a very good ability right there, even for only 3 mana. Now, it's hard because he's melee and he's not really a tank, so it's kind of hard to find a spot to put him in. But he can be very valuable if you've got like something where melee can attack from anywhere, or even if you're just not even worried about his attack, you're just trying to decrease the magic damage on the other side. Can be very good. Light Elemental at level 1, 4 mana, 2 attack. That's not a bad ratio, and it's magic, so that can be a valuable card. Evangelist. This one right here is one that can be decent early because 3 attack at 6 mana, decent health. Snare is going to help get rid of some of those flying abilities. But then it gets even better as we get up to level 4 and we get Inspire. So Inspire increases our melee attack, as we've already seen. A great way to get Inspire without necessarily having to have a tank that's up front. Or okay, Silver Shield Knight, I talked about putting him in the second spot. Well, here you could then get Inspire with a range attack, or with somebody that can actually do damage as well, and a decent chunk of damage. So works very well. Sacred Unicorn, one of my more recent purchases, very valuable. That piercing plus trample, and again, if we're increasing our melee attack, can really go through people. Can absolutely go through people, and then has a heal, so it's a decent tank as well. Darius over here has a revive. Decent damage in a revive. He is expensive, so I don't get him in there too much, but it does work. Kralis is a character that I would like to get up to level 2. Level 2. But in silver could be very valuable against Noxious Fumes. The Noxious Fumes rule set. Here we have immunity and a heal. Kralis can win battles by himself on Noxious Fumes. So, hopefully that helps you guys. I hope that helps build a life deck, a good team that maybe is a little cheaper than some of the other teams, and can be very valuable at the silver level. So this is definitely a team that I recommend. I really like it. It's one I've had a lot of fun with, and I hope it works for you guys. So if these guides help you at all, and you would like to help support the channel, there are 4 main ways you can do it. Like, retweeting, posting on social media, whatever, spreading the word about the channel. That's one of the biggest things you can do. I appreciate that. Coming to my live streams, participating in chat, that type of thing, that is great as well. Coming to my Discord, helping people on Discord, those types of things, those are absolutely great ways to support the channel. I appreciate that. And then if you want to financially support the channel, one of the best ways is just to send cards or send in-game currency to my account, Bulldog1205, all lowercase. That's the best way to donate. Don't worry about PayPal fees, any of those other things. Just send stuff in-game, and that's the best way. So, I hope you guys have enjoyed everything. Stay tuned. We've gone through 2 splinters. We've got more left. Stay tuned. They're coming soon. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.